eu sou uma Zulu Queen que vim do Brasil. Lá no Brasil, a Zulu Nation do Brasil já existe há muitos anos, através do King Nino Brown.
Okay. Ana is a Zulu Queen, and she comes from Brazil. And the Zulu Nation in Brazil has been existing for a long time, thanks to. Yeah, it started like 15 years ago, kind of. Thanks to.
King Nino Brown.
King Nino Brown is the founder.
Responsável pela Zulu Nation.
Exactly, he's the administrator of the Zulu Nation in Brazil. So Ana comes from Brazil.
Lá eu ganhei o certificado, né, de Zulu pelo Brasil e fui desafiada a abrir o capítulo Zulu Portugal.
Okay. She became, in Brazil, she was part of the Zulu Nation, okay, and she became a Zulu Queen when she came in Portugal. And her goal was she came from Brazil with the idea, with the objective creating a Zulu Nation here in Portugal. The Zulu King Nino Brown asked her to come here in Portugal and found and create the Zulu Nation here in Portugal.
Quando nós chegamos aqui, né, nós não íamos ficar aqui, no caso, para abrir um capítulo ainda, mas sentimos a necessidade, né, porque vimos que as vertentes da cultura hip hop, os 5 elementos, né, estavam muito desunidos
aqui em Portugal. Okay. So what happened when Ana arrived here in Portugal? She realized that the 5 elements of the hip hop culture were very disunited. They weren't united. So this was the first thing she noticed when she arrived.
Bom, e que aqui eles estavam ainda muito visados para o lado comercial do hip hop. Então veio a missão de trabalhar a verdadeira cultura hip hop, buscando as pessoas aqui que estavam já há muito tempo dentro da cultura em Portugal, né? E passando para eles a mensagem de que a Zulu, convidamos para participar do Zulu Nation aqui em Portugal, para a gente criar um capítulo forte. Okay. Foi assim.
Another thing that they noticed when they arrived in Portugal is that the hip hop culture here was focused mainly on the commercial aspect, and there was a big lack of more serious objectives, like the cultural aspects. So one of the most important goals that they have from Zulu Nation is to come here. They've been realizing that it was needed to create a more conscious and profound sense of hip hop. And they started looking for those people who were actually interested, not in a commercial way, but in a more of a personal and conscious way to take part in this big project, which is the hip hop here. And so this was one of the other things that they have been working on since they arrived. Zulu Nation was created in Portugal in 2008. Okay, so it's recent. It's new, it's young. E no Brasil quando?
O Brasil já tem 15 anos.
Okay, exato. In Brazil, it was created like almost 15 years ago. So this is I think it's important to say this. It's something recent. So Ana arrives from Brazil, okay, with this main goal to create Zulu Nation here too in Portugal. So there was no Zulu Nation before Ana arrived, okay. And just to make a little resume. So basically, what happens? Portugal didn't have was more focused. People were more focused on the commercial side and were not united. There was a lack of unity in the big culture of hip hop. Ok, então você chegou do Brasil, notou que pronto, não havia muita união e havia a falta de, digamos, seria de profundidade, digamos,
sobre a verdadeira cultura. Tinha algumas pessoas que entendiam o que era a verdadeira cultura, Tem alguns que praticavam só a cultura, mas não entendiam a profundidade
the message.
da mensagem.
Okay. So there were actually some people who were actually practicing the culture, the hip hop culture, but they didn't really know about the message. They weren't really conscious about what it was. So this was another. It was all part of what they noticed when they arrived here in Portugal.
Aí o que nós convidamos algumas pessoas para virem participar conosco, explicamos o que era a Zulu Nation, o que nós pretendíamos. Alguns vieram, outros não, mas a gente, a princípio, resolveu também trabalhar para a nova geração.
Okay. So what happened is that they decided to invite people to participate here to Zulu Nation. They started to explain what Zulu Nation was and what was the goal and where it came from and the history of Zulu Nation in the world. Another thing that was noticed, some people accepted the invitation, others didn't really react to this invitation, and so another thing that happened is that the Zulu Nation Portugal decided to focus on the new generations. So try to do something for the future of hip hop in Portugal and work in this direction.
Sim. Aí começamos a trazer alguns dos projetos que nós desenvolvemos no Brasil para trabalhar aqui em Portugal.
Okay.
Principalmente com jovens em risco social, né, com pessoas jovens, né, presos. E criamos 3 projetos.
So the idea was to use some project that they were active in Brazil and take them here to Portugal. And these projects focus mainly on young people who are in a socially difficult situation, and young people who came from prisons or were still in prison. So to make them, to work with them mainly. And these projects are three very important projects, which are que são?
Sim. Criamos começamos com um projeto só para as mulheres, porque sentimos que as mulheres aqui estavam muito excluídas da cultura. E então nós criamos um projeto com o nome Hip Hop de Batom. E convidamos as mulheres que já praticavam hip hop, mas não estavam inseridas, né, dentro do meio porque era muito masculinizado.
So the first project is a project that focused on women, because they had the perception that women were excluded, were strongly excluded from the hip hop culture here in Portugal. The project is called Hip Hop de Batom. Batom means lipstick. Batom in Portuguese means lipstick. Okay, so it means hip hop with lipstick, and it involved women and their works.
Dar força para a mulher, trabalhar todas as vertentes do hip hop, mas principalmente a questão da cidadania da mulher, da luta pelos direitos iguais, pela questão da violência contra a mulher, né, combate.
So the main focus were on women's conditions, the violence on women, women's citizenship, and women's rights.
Sim. Aí depois nós fizemos um outro projeto chamado Hip Hop pela Paz. Trabalhando, convidando jovens de vários bairros sociais, favelas, comunidades, para estarem interagindo, principalmente dos bairros que eram rivais.
So the second important project is called Hip Hop pela Paz, Hip Hop for Peace. And it involved young people who came from the peripheries, and the idea was to make them cooperate and interact between them, and using the fact that some areas are one against the other. So try forcing in a good way them to interact with each other through activities. Tipo encontros na rua,
Não, nós tínhamos um espaço, nós fomos apoiados por uma fundação que trabalha com cultura e desenvolvimento humano em Portugal, chamada Fundação Calouste Gulbenkian. Essa fundação nos apoiou e para poder trazer o projeto para dentro da fundação. Fizemos um concerto e nos encontrávamos em um espaço, né, e desenvolvemos workshop, trabalhamos o desenvolvimento desses jovens, né.
So basically the project was through workshops, and thanks to the Fundação, the Foundation Calouste Gulbenkian, which is a pretty known foundation here in Portugal, which actually usually financiates projects, projects that are focused on social working and social cooperation. And they actually use the spaces of the foundation here in Lisbon to organize concerts and workshops and make people meet and discuss themes and situations about their lives.
Sim, gravamos desses dois projetos, nós temos um CD de cada um deles, né, com um trabalho que resultou desse projeto, dos dois projetos, do Hip Hop de Batom e do Hip Hop pela Paz.
Ok.
Né? E o terceiro projeto é o projeto Tomando Rumo, que é um projeto que nós trabalhamos os jovens dentro da prisão, todas as vertentes também do hip hop, mais produção musical, mais a parte da musicalidade, né, composição de letras, workshops, reflexões, cinema, e também vamos fazer um CD, esse aí a gente ainda vai fazer, não fez ainda, e também recebemos esses jovens quando eles saem da prisão. Okay. Ajudamos a inseri-los na sociedade.
Okay. So third project. So the first two projects resulted in 2 CDs with music and everything is registered. This third project is actually in progress. It's happening now. It's in progress, and it's called the Tomando Rumbo. It means getting a direction. Okay, rumbo means a direction, path, and it focuses on young people who are in prison. And through the 5 elements of hip hop, they try to involve them and help them through this moment. And the other thing is that we give them help and sustain when they come out from the prisons. So try to create, and this project is in process now. And the idea is to create a CD too from it, mainly using music and this specific element of hip hop.
Eu vejo que o hip hop de Tomando Rumo, o projeto do Tomando Rumo, ele tem muito a ver com o Born, que é uma coisa o Born, Nascer de Novo, que eles colocam na Zulu Nation, que foi criado pela Zulu Nation lá no Bronx, que tem muito a ver com isso. Okay. A gente trabalha jovens para eles nascerem de novo.
Exactly. So one of the elements that is really important here is the idea of being a newborn. That is mainly one of the most important things. This was an idea that grew up in newborn. Okay, it means like to be reborn. The idea is to be reborn. Okay, and because actually these young people come out from the prison, so the idea of a new birth is central to them and to their lives.
Eu vou falar por elementos do hip hop, né? Em relação ao grafite, né? O grafite no Brasil, o grafite é dos jovens pobres das comunidades. Em Portugal, o grafite é para a elite.
Okay. Let's start with
não só, mas a maioria.
Okay. So, for example, the idea is to take every element of hip hop and try to see which are the difference between the two countries, just to understand how the culture actually interacts with society. So, for example, the graffiti element in Brazil is mainly used by poor people, socially marginalized young people. So poor people, youngsters with difficulties. Whilst in Portugal, the graffiti element is for rich children, rich guys. So it's more of for an elite. Okay, so this is one of. It's not just for, obviously, it's not just for rich children, rich young guys, but it's mainly used and developed by young people from, how do you say, wealthy families. Okay, so this is one difference, for example, between the two cultures, in Brazil and Portugal. E depois?
Sim. Em relação ao rap, né? O rap eu acho que já é mais parecido mesmo com a realidade brasileira. Os rappers a princípio cantam, né, pelos mesmos motivos, né? É mesmo da periferia, né? A maioria dos rappers são da periferia, são dos bairros sociais.
Afrodescendência?
Afrodescendência há muitos. Né?
Whilst on the other side, the rap, the element of rap is more similar between the two areas, Brazil and Portugal. So, like all the message is very similar. The goals are similar. They all come from peripheries or like more suburban and how do you say, peripheral districts. And there is the Afro descendancy is another element in common. So like the rap element is more between the two areas is actually similar. You can find similarities between the two. And the break dance?
O break dance já é uma mistura, né? Já é uma mistura do comercial, né? Com o outro mais popular, né?
Sim, em ambos os países. Ok, so the DJ element?
Só tem uma diferença que aqui tem muito essa questão de tentar elitizar também a questão da dança, mais para a questão comercial. E no Brasil não. No Brasil as pessoas ganham dinheiro com dança, entendeu? Mas não elitizam a dança. É diferente.
Okay, so on the DJ element, there are some similarities there too between Brazil and Portugal. You can say that inside of the DJs are actually there is a mixed between mixed components. They are not just some people are more come from the commercial area. Other are more of the popular area. So there is in both countries there is a mixture. On the dance, regarding the dance element, you can say that they are similar, but like in Portugal, they try to commercialize dance more. Em Portugal não é? Tem que comercializar mais o dance.
Eles querem mais fazer a parte de competição.
Sim.
Tá mais por esse lado.
Isso é
né?
Portugal.
Em Portugal.
Enquanto no Brasil.
Enquanto no Brasil não, eles estão envolvidos na parte social,
Sim.
muito na parte social. Eles estão muito preocupados com jovens que vêm do tráfico, tentando resgatar, colocar o hip hop como o pop salvou a minha vida, resgatou a minha vida. Né?
So on the dance element, there is a very strong difference. Probably because of the different social realities, probably, or because maybe the perception of the need is different. In Portugal, they focus more on the battles and competitions and on the making money out of it. Whilst in Brazil, dance still represents a very important alternative for younger people, and dancers are really focused on giving a safe exit to young people who are involved in traffics, in drug dealing, and really want focus on this, are conscious about this, and work for this. So there is a much stronger social involvement in Brazil than there is in Portugal.
Aqui em Portugal tem o pessoal da velha escola, né, old school, que é um grupo chamado Dois Macacos, que o Zé Carlos, que é um responsável que criou o grupo, né, que também tem as vertentes também todas do hip hop, as 4 vertentes, mas ele é uma pessoa muito focada a trabalhar os jovens da comunidade. Ele formou muitos jovens. Esse rapaz aqui em Portugal, ele na minha opinião, ele é um líder comunitário, uma pessoa realmente que tem uma veia Zulu, mesmo que ele não se definiu como um Zulu, ficou na dele, quando, né, não quis, mas ele tem na veia a Zulu Nation, as mesmas, Zé Carlos. Ele tem as mesmas, os mesmos objetivos, digamos assim, que nós Zulu, entendeu, temos em relação ao mundo melhor, para a cultura hip hop em geral.
So in Portugal, it is to say that there is actually an old school component called dos macacos.
12 macacos.
Dois tipo
12.
Dois. So it calls 12 macacos, means 12 monkeys, and the founder is
Zé Carlos.
Zé Carlos. This is the name of the guy. This guy who founded this group, and they are not part of Zulu Nation. But they actually have Ana called it the Zulu vein. So they have the same attitude and goals of Zulu. They have been, forming young people, new generations. They are very focused on social working and, involving young people in activities through hip hop. So this is an important. He's one of the old school people and elements, and important elements, and active people here in Portugal.
O hip hop, em relação à questão das mulheres, eu acho que como ele foi criado assim por homens, entendeu? E aí ficou uma coisa muito masculinizada, voltada, entre aspas, para os homens. Então a mulher, até ela foi tentando abrir o seu espaço. Então, por exemplo, um país como o Brasil, as mulheres atualmente, né, a coisa de mais ou menos uns 10 anos, 15 anos, já estão mais à frente, porque elas metem mesmo no cara delas e põem e fala e briga pelos seus direitos, entendeu? E criou-se a Delegacia das Mulheres, elas foram para lá, grafitaram a delegacia toda, várias grafiteiras reuniram, grafitaram para falar sobre uma lei chamada Maria da Penha, que era contra a violência dos homens, né, em relação às mulheres, todo tipo de violência, né? Então foram lá e colocaram a cara delas e grafitaram, e as MCs cantaram sobre essa temática, entendeu? Então, começaram a incentivar as meninas da nova geração, na faixa de 13, 14 anos. Hoje tem muitas MCs que são MCs porque viram a mãe, a prima, a irmã, então criou um movimento muito forte dentro do Brasil.
Okay, so female element in Brazil. So the reason why probably Ana says the hip hop movement is apparently more a masculine movement is because it was founded by men. So it could be related to the fact that men basically founded the initial movement, and this could be a consequence of the how we can say the lack of visibility that women have in it. While in Brazil, actually, the thing is interesting because it's been now almost 15 years that women have actually took action and have started using hip hop as a way to fight for their rights. And Ana was talking about at one point in Brazil there has been a law called Maria da Penha against violence on women. And that was one of the most important moments when women started using hip hop and writing on the walls and dancing and singing for their rights, and really that they really had an active attitude, and they also started passing the verb to the new generations. Or the new generation started to, understand and being interested in the hip hop movement because they saw like people from the family dancing or singing or taking part to events. So in Brazil, it was the women component has always been more active, and women have actually took action on their own and decided that they wanted to do something for themselves and use hip hop in this sense for their rights and to make people hear their voice. Em Portugal?
Em Portugal, desde de 2008, né? Quando eu cheguei em Portugal, que eu comecei a conhecer as mulheres, né? Era muito restrito no grupo de mulheres que cantava, mas muito cantava assim dentro da sua zona, do seu bairro, né? Eles falam que é bairro. Dentro do seu bairro, não era nada assim de expressão, não tinha esse movimento delas falarem, de irem à luta, assim, dessa forma que tinha no Brasil. Mas agora, entendeu? De uma coisa de uns 4 anos pra cá, de 2012, não, desculpa, 2010 mais ou menos, pra cá, está fortalecendo. As mulheres estão mais ativas, estão se encontrando, estão tentando fazer alguma coisa juntas, tá melhor, bem melhor.
So in Portugal, the situation is a little bit different. Obviously, we start observing Portugal starting from 2008 because it's when Ana arrived here, and she noticed since the beginning that the female element was calmer, and they did something, but not in a public way. They did their thing, but they didn't really take it outside. And so this was one thing that she noticed when she arrived, and probably this is one of the reasons why she decided to create the projects focusing on women. But one thing she says that from 2010, it's been stronger and stronger. So the women element has been growing and building itself in a more stronger way and manifesting.
Principalmente as rappers, as MCs.
Sim, so rappers
mais as rappers MCs.
The rappers are the rap element in female is very strong.
As grafiteiras, pouco menos, bem menos.
Graffiti a little bit less.
Mais dançarinas, bastante dançarinas.
And a lot of dancers, a lot of women dancers.
Mas muitas voltadas pro lado bem comercial, né?
More on the commercial side, so there is more this focus on the dance. The female dance element is more focused on the commercial side.
Mas algumas ainda também batalhando seu espaço junto com os homens, assim como o Brasil. Não, no Brasil é todo mundo muito unido, as vertentes são unidas. Aqui ainda está nessa fase de formação, assim,
também
de união entre homens e mulheres também, mas agora a coisa está crescendo. O grafite tem menos mulheres, mas as que tem são muito fortes.
Still, again, what she noticed is that the elements are more disunited. They're less unity than in Brazil. In Brazil, there is really a big cooperation between all the elements of hip hop. All the 5 elements and the women and the men components. In Portugal, this is very different. So still this sense of division. And in women are very strong in the rap element. You can find strong elements. In the graffiti, there are some, but the ones who are very good. In the dance element, there are a lot of women, but they are more, as we were saying, more focused on the commercial side. So probably, they lose a little bit of the, truth and, real sense of why hip hop exists and why it actually is important. Mais coisas sobre as mulheres?
Sobre as mulheres, nós falamos sobre isso, né? DJ, nós temos inclusive uma DJ do nosso projeto. A DJ Gato, né? Ela foi a primeira mulher aqui em Portugal a concorrer num GMC, num campeonato de DJ.
Okay, so in Portugal there is we actually have this girl called DJ Gato. She was the first woman who actually took part to this.
Do hip hop de Batom.
Exactly, she was part of the hip hop of the Batom, the project we were talking about before, and she was the first woman in Portugal to take part to a contest, a DJing contest here in Portugal. So she's actually an important element of the women component here.
Aqui, a primeira mulher que eu conheço, né, e que sempre a história, que foi a Capicua,
uma agora muito famosa,
que agora está despontando.
Exato. So the first female rapper in Portugal is Capicua. She's from Porto. And now she's very famous. She's really super famous. She just took part of a very famous festival here in Lisbon. one of the most biggest festivals here. So this meaning that she's really arriving at very high levels of notoriety and.
Ela é da velha escola, né? Porque ela já é mais antiga.
Old school. Quantos anos ela tem?
Acho que ela deve ter. Mas antiga não é tão antiga, né? Ela deve ter seus 30 e poucos.
She's in her 30s. She's from Portugal. Porto is even a very strong area.
E aqui nós temos a nossa também gato, que elas têm uma mania de gato aqui, né?
Exato.
Temos a MC Gata.
Gata MC.
Nossa, aqui do Hip Hop de Batom também. Foi formada aqui conosco. Hoje é uma líder. Hoje ela foi lá para o capítulo da Inglaterra, da Zulu Nation Inglaterra. E tem a Lady Anne, também nossa. Aqui, que são as que estão mais fortes. A Lady Anne também é uma líder comunitária, também tem batalhado pelos direitos das mulheres.
Sim, so even here in the Lisbon area, there are some pretty strong elements. MC Gata, she now lives in London, but she was really a strong leader here. And the other girl?
Ela foi formada aqui desde 2009, que ainda tem trabalhado a Gata.
Sim.
E hoje ela, graças a Deus, se despontou também, foi lá para.
Sim, she was MC Gata really was like she was very active here and from 2009, and then she managed to go to London and like pass the
A outra é a Lady Anne.
Como é que se Lady Anne?
Lady.
Lady
Anne.
Lady Anne. Another rapper is Lady Annie. She's also very active and very strong here in the Lisbon area. So there are some good elements.
Descendente também de África,
Sim,
são Angola, afrodescendente.
Ambas, né?
Isso. E temos uma também que essa daqui ela chama-se G-Fema.
Só G-Fema.
G-Fema, ela canta em crioulo. G-Fema. G de gato.
G. Sim, mas acho que já ouvi isso. Sim, G-Fema.
E ela é muito boa nas rimas, mas só canta em crioulo.
So another strong element is G-Fema. She's another a very interesting fact about her is that she sings in crioulo from Cabo Verde. I think she's from Cabo Verde. Yeah. And I think this is a very important thing to say about rap here in Portugal, because some rappers use at the beginning they use crioulo. They didn't use Portuguese because of their descendancy.
Tenho certeza, né, que o nosso trabalho aqui em Portugal tem sido muito bom para os jovens, principalmente jovens que moram em bairros sociais, em comunidades carentes, porque deu uma esperança, eles puderam ver através do nosso trabalho que há um futuro para eles, independente deles morarem ali naquele bairro, entendeu? Independente deles até seguirem uma carreira artística dentro da cultura hip hop, mas houve uma mudança neles, houve uma vontade de crescer, uma vontade de ser alguém, entendeu? E muitos desses jovens hoje, eu tenho muito orgulho disso, para mim entrar na universidade. Esse ano, 3 jovens que saíram da prisão entraram na universidade.
So Ana was actually stating that she's very happy with the results of her interventions and the social interventions. She noticed that what happened is that young people from the districts have actually started seeing a future for them, and from the prisons too. She has very positive. She had a very positive feedback from everybody, and actually she was saying that three of the people that were involved in the project actually came out from prison and entered university. So this is a very good result. This is an amazing achievement. E pronto, e mais ou menos bons resultados, eles conseguiram. They actually start thinking about themselves as people who have a future. What the intervention have really created an alternative, a new option for people who probably didn't have money before. So we can say that.
as pessoas disseram que melhorou bastante, né? Até o Mr. Dreams, que é a Zulu da Salina, ele tem falado que a Mr. Dreams também, que é o old school, né? Ele estava até me falando, agora a gente estava conversando sobre isso, ele falou que há 25 anos atrás que era mesmo, sabe, terrível a questão das brigas das gangues, era mesmo complicado.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that actually since she arrived, what she has noticed and what the people have told her is that the situation is really becoming better and better, and that if you think about Portugal 25 years ago, the disputes between gangs and the drug dealing was very dangerous. It was very dangerous here in Portugal. The situation was really at the edge of it was problematic, real. So we can say that it has actually been better in the last 10 years. Slowly, as everything goes slowly now.
Em relação à prisão, por exemplo, a maioria dos presos que tem estado nas prisões que tem trabalhado, o nosso projeto do Rumo, são descendentes de africanos. E muitos, eles nasceram em Portugal, mas eles não têm nem a nacionalidade portuguesa e nem a nacionalidade africana. Então, quando eles estão presos, entendeu? Eles são deportados e vai para uma realidade na qual eles não conhecem, nunca moraram naquele país, porque nasceram aqui. Mas como a família não tratou de documento, existia muita dificuldade para a legalização dessas pessoas em Portugal, então eles ficam sem pátria, entre aspas.
So one of Portugal's big issues is regards to the young people who are born from African descendants, from Africans who came to live here in Portugal. And what was one of Anna's views, her experience with prisons is that, like, for example, many young people don't have neither a Portuguese citizenship nor an African citizenship. So they are kind of when they get caught and they get to prison, sometimes they are taken back to Africa, but they don't come from there because they were born here. The thing is that the families didn't take care of the papers. It's very difficult here to have the citizenship if you're an African descendant. It's super complicated. So these are some of the issues that Portugal has, which are a consequence of the independence of the five African. In 75, most of the African countries became independent. Okay? This, what happened is that people from Africa started coming to Portugal, looking for work, for jobs, for money. And at the beginning, obviously, this problem didn't exist because Portugal was still in action and blah blah blah. No, but the thing is that the problem started. Obviously, these people who came from Portugal were people who are coming from the more humble areas of the cities, and obviously they started. Obviously, they had children, and so we started to find in Portugal the new generations, the first generations of immigrants and the second ones, and that's when some issues has been raised too. So there is the situation in peripheries in Portugal is strictly bounded with immigration and after the old empire. So this thing that when the second generation are caught and are in prison and they don't have any nationality, they're not Portuguese, they're not African. This is a very big issue in Portugal.
Eu cheguei no hip hop porque eu sou produtora cultural, sou formada em rádio e televisão, essa é a minha profissão. E eu comecei a trabalhar eventos, com hip hop e tudo, mas muito voltado para os jovens da periferia das favelas. Eu comecei a trabalhar fazendo produção cultural com jovens moradores de rua, meninos em situação de rua.
Okay, so Anna's experience with this hip hop starts because she's a producer. Okay, her path is art
produção cultural.
Sim, cultural production. I know that it's And she started working with people from the peripheries.
Morador de rua.
Sim, so people who, morador de rua. Sim, so people.
Situação de rua.
Exato.
Favela, vai morar na rua, é expulso pelo tráfico de drogas.
Okay. So she started working with young people who came from the favelas. And they were actually living in the street. And her first projects were focused on them.
Dentro da gaveta, dentro dessa rua.
Ok. So, estamos a dizer, primeiro, produtora, moradores de rua, jovens, sobre os projetos focavam-se neles e nos trabalhos deles, ok?
Que era assim uma criação. Ele era expulso do tráfico da favela, ia morar na rua. Ele não queria mais trabalhar no tráfico porque houve desentendimentos entre os traficantes e os jovens.
Conseguimos sobreviver?
Aí iam pra rua, morava na rua, e se envolvia nas drogas, estavam morando na rua. Aí depois disso, eles iam presos. Então a gente fazia ligação. Ele morando na rua, ele preso no colégio, no Centro Nacional, no reformatório, né? E depois tentando reinserir na família. Mas ele tinha um abrigo, ele às vezes ia com um abrigo.
Okay. So, basically in Brazil, what happened is that a lot of some young people didn't want to work in the drug dealing, so they ended up being rejected by the favelas. They ended up living in the streets. A lot of them they were in prison or in these young prison. Okay, and they tried to through the project. They tried to reinsert them in the families and in the professional world.
Menino Brau, que é ministro da Cultura, Zulu Nation, tá? Observou esse trabalho que eu fui buscar a cultura hip hop cada vez mais, porque os meninos gostavam muito, eles se identificavam com os dizeres dos rappers como Racionais MC, Dexter. Depois do período MDB, são rappers interventivos, entendeu? E essa identificação deles fez com que eu começasse a trabalhar todos os elementos. Aí eu conheci mais a fundo a cultura, aí veio um convite da Zulu Nation para que eu fosse Zulu, né? E a partir daí...
So, actually what happened is that these young people identify themselves a lot with the hip hop culture. Okay, so that's why Nana started obviously involving more and more, getting more and more with the hip hop culture. And King Nino Brown noticed their work. Okay, and that's why the connection with Zulu Nation started, because actually her interventions on her project were really successful, and King Brown really liked it, really appreciated it, and that's why she was also looking for more, going to hip hop more and more because of the interest of the young people. So it was kind of the young people interested in hip hop. Anna was working with them, so she started, working with hip hop, and then King Brown asked her to take part to Zulu Nation because of her work and the good results that they were having.
Eu acho que por exemplo, eu vejo países assim que a gente esteve até visitando e que a Zulu Nation era pequena e que não fazia muitas coisas, fazia mais assim, demonstração do trabalho de DJ, do trabalho de rapper, do trabalho, de breakdance, mas não tinha esse movimento mesmo, de atitude, de expressão, falando sobre as problemáticas dos seus países, essa intervenção não existia.
Okay.
E aí eles viram o trabalho que a gente tem feito, espelhando pelo Brasil, muita referência, a Bambata mesmo, tem muita referência com o Brasil. Ele sempre fala muito que o Brasil está muito desenvolvido nessa parte. Então as pessoas depois que vêm, elas se motivam, aí o capítulo começa a crescer. Eu vejo assim.
Okay, so Anna's experience with the different Zulu representatives in Europe around is that one thing that she noticed at the beginning is that one of the issues was that they were very small. And they didn't really have big interventions. They did some demonstrations and DJing, like singing, dancing, but they didn't really, work on the consciousness and the information and the real active intervention. What happened is that a lot of Zulu representatives started looking at Brazil and the work that the Zulu Nation has been doing in Brazil, which is a very good example of the good results that it can achieve. Even Africa Bombata refers to Brazil as one of the most important examples of good results and well thought intervention. And so from that point on, some of the Zulu representatives started looking at Brazil and started taking examples, taking Brazil as an example. And that's what was when they started actually intervening more and building a more consciousness. More conscious projects and left and that's when we could start talking about chapters and capítulo and the growth. That's why probably because of their small dimension in the beginning, but actually it is changing because thanks to the connections, we can exchange information and take use other people's experiences as an example. And learn from. And obviously Brazil as a social reality is very complex and probably has a lot of needs in this way. So that's we can actually you really need to do something. People really feel the need to do something. But that's it. I think that it can be used as an example for everywhere. Social reality is complex everywhere, and even there probably it's louder. Okay, it's stronger because actually the culture of the the population is even the attitude is strong. But we're on the same boat.
Eu acho que nós temos que buscar os jovens. Acho que os países que não têm muitos problemas, eles estão muito acomodados, entendeu? Ali rodando em volta deles próprios. E quando começa a ter problemas, o problema é que, na verdade, ele é uma mola que impulsiona a pessoa, entendeu? A sair dali, a ver um novo rumo, né? Uma vida nova. E quando a pessoa não tem muitos problemas, ela fica parada. Eu penso dessa forma.
Obviously, the need of an interaction is different in some countries. It's less strong. So that's why probably their work has been the path, the Zulu Nation has been different in these places because they started, the need of an intervention has been, appearing later. At the beginning, the social reality wasn't that problematic. And then problems started happening, people started looking at reality in a different way, things change and that's why at one point they became more active.
Está muito preocupado, assim, eu vejo alguns capítulos que estão muito preocupados com a coisa do competição de dança, competição de rap, entendeu? De MCs, até de grafite, mas não trabalha pelo desenvolvimento humano, entendeu? Então fica muito voltado pelo materialismo, para ter grana, para ter, sabe? E por isso que tem muita confusão. E se a gente, como Zulu Nation, que trabalha pela paz, pela união, pelo respeito, sabe? Pelo quinto elemento, que é a consciência, o conhecimento, a cidadania, a gente não consegue fazer um futuro melhor para as pessoas, não consegue ajudar. E por isso que a gente fala que no Brasil e aqui em Portugal eu vejo isso muito também, o hip hop salva vidas. Tira as pessoas do... vamos colocar... resgata a pessoa, sabe? Tira ela daquele ostracismo, sabe? E impulsiona. Não, agora eu sou um MC, mas eu sei que para eu ser um MC, eu preciso escrever bem, eu preciso entender as palavras para compor, para ser um grande MC, eu preciso voltar a estudar. Então essas coisas que fazem eles crescerem, tomar essa posição. A Zulu Nation no Brasil e a Zulu Nation em Portugal tem essa missão, esse objetivo. E quem dança há 50 anos, quem é MC há 30, entendeu? Quem faz grafite desde que a Zulu Nation nasceu, mas não tem essa filosofia dentro dele, não serve para ser um Zulu, nem aqui, nem em nenhum outro país.
So, concluding, what Ana has been noticing is that in a lot of countries, the main interests are more on creating competitions and battles and events, but not really. They're not really focused.
É só que apareceu,
they want to show, they want to show that they know how to do things. They are good at doing, they're good at doing it, no? Que eles são básicos, que eles são bons produtores de tudo, and they're probably more focused on the commercial side of hip hop and try to achieve some luxury. Whilst in other places like Portugal and Brazil, the fifth element is really important, and that's why there is more social intervention, and the results are visible, and that's why you can say that in places like Brazil and Portugal, the hip hop culture represents a real alternative, and it really represents the future that some people weren't even able to see at the beginning before Zulu Nation existed. So and that's why Ana was actually saying that if you don't have this thing inside you, this philosophical view on hip hop and its importance, and you cannot be part of Zulu Nation. Zulu Nation is really is one of the main elements is consciousness, union, citizenship, and peace. So if you don't have this this global view and you just want to have
E também assim, não significa só que o hip hop possa transformar a vida de quem é pobre, não tem dinheiro, mas também tem muita gente que tem dinheiro, gosta de hip hop e está na depressão, morre nas drogas e tem dinheiro, mata, rouba para ganhar dinheiro, mas acaba, continua com um vazio dentro dele. Então, se ele não começa a trabalhar o amor universal, ele morre não só morrer de um tiro ou morrer, sabe, aquela morte natural, morre por dentro dele, se torna uma pessoa vazia.
So what actually we were saying, Ana was saying, is that it's not just this is the thing about hip hop being something good and something healthy for a human being. It's not just for the people who come from socially difficult districts or poor guys. It's for everybody. Even if you're rich but you don't have a goal in life and you don't have a project, you don't have this sense of unity and this consciousness. You die inside. That's why that hip hop represents an alternative for everybody. Not just obviously it's more visible, in some realities, but actually it's for everybody. This is something you can say for everybody who loves music and wants to do something about their lives. You don't necessarily have to be, desperate. You have to want something and have a project and go for it.
Na minha opinião, as Zulu Nations todos os capítulos do mundo deveriam estar olhando uns aos outros, o que um está fazendo que pode fazer a diferença na vida de outros. E aí somar, entendeu? Trazer, igual o nosso projeto, somar as diferenças. Dentre todas as Zulu Nations, somando as diferenças. Olha, isso aqui está sendo feito no Brasil e é bom, vou trazer isso para fazer aqui no meu país. Isso daqui está sendo feito na França, entendeu? Trazer para cá. Entendeu? E fazer essa troca, esse intercâmbio de boas práticas dentro da Universal Zulu Nation no mundo.
So concluding, what Ana is saying is that Zulu Nation, the Universal Zulu Nation, should be on all the different chapters, should observe each other more and cooperate more. Because exactly as we were saying before, some projects can be reused and applied in other spaces. Some good projects, she was saying like the Zulu in France should could need a project that was good in Brazil, and from Brazil they should take a project from France. There should be more cooperation and more communication. This is just an observation. If we achieved a higher level of cooperation, probably the results would be even better.
I'm a pioneer of breakdance in Portugal, and the one in the active now, dancing. 34 years. 34 years of dancing, yes. Now I have 44. 44. Okay. In the beginning I danced in the street in the 1980s. Yes. In Lisbon. And now it's my profession. I'm professional of breakdance and teaching and choreographer. It's my job. It's my job. No sole job for the money, but like Rita and the people, he's a mission. Hip hop culture for me is a mission because I see. No, when I'm young child, I'm dancing natural breakdance. It's my passion. I love breakdance. And the evolution of the years, I think it's my mission, dancing and teaching people, child and teenagers. And the much important is the philosophy, because I see my friends in the streets, in the cities, too much crime, etc., etc. And I see, okay, the hip hop is uma ferramenta, né? Uma ferramenta para trabalhar.
It's like something to work with.
Yes, child and mudar, mudar
to
change the society, and
it's normal to teach people, to change the mind of the people, to change the way.
Much important. It's not so dance on rap, on J, and C, but the philosophy, the peace and love and respect each other. It's much important. Not so hypocrite on the other side, yes. But I see the hip hop and breakdance, the mission, peace and respect. For I work for the child. So I this is a DJ that come every time with me. Is DJ French because it's Portuguese but come to the French from here. The father's Portuguese, and I think I need events for the people like events. You understand? And talk to the child. The mission for dancing, graffiti, MC. 19 years old, I go to the state institutions, meetings, and adult people, institutions in the state don't understand what is hip hop. For me, it's a big word for the people who understand what's real hip hop. Culture in the mission, but I consegui.
I managed.
Okay, and I prepared the first event, the breakdance. His name is Portugal Battle. Okay, I'm a pioneer too in the champion of breakdance. But my events, I think, no prize money. Because the child or teenagers don't need to go to the champion for the money. Quer dizer que os campeonatos não têm prémio. No, my philosophy of event politics of events not prize money. So like medals, understand? So this and diploma, no more. And sponsors of this, some people, these b-boys, items now have the marks and sponsor me an event, understand? So this, no prize money. But in my events, festivals of hip hop I produce, I don't have sponsors money. It's too much my money. I sponsor my money in vista of hip hop for this child, these people like 5,000,000 too much my money, yes. But like Rita says, é muito importante ver estes meetings. Is my head is see the child now. Now is bands to the child, now it's good, because breakdance training, go to the battles, understand much people, and now it's grow up and everything okay, the life. My money is good, bad, invest. Portugal is too much difficult to have money for producing events. It's too much difficult. And I'm teaching now child in the like this society, back
In the neighborhood.
for the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Okay, in the street and the hotels, the schools. Okay. No, it's my dad is breakdance. See, probably, and I see one time I excuse too much. I see the Bombata the first time in the beach streets. You know, no have the computers, nothing, the cinema. I see the street, waking room, that boogaloo, yes, flash dance and but rock and too much rock city crew, whatever. And I see one time, I see the site of Zulu Nation, Zulu Nation. I see, I don't understand what's Zulu Nation. I see a combat, of course, and study in the internet. For when I teaching the people, I talk to the boys and the girls what is hip hop and pioneers and the fathers. Understand this? And the Rita is staying out to the Zulu Nation Portugal. And we talked, okay, like a diploma in Zulu, and from his pleasure, stay there for the help to this work.